So Jon Anik is having a little bit of a tantrum about people leaving negative comments about his opinion on Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. And as someone who's a little bit of a veteran in dealing with people leaving negative comments on their MMA page, I thought I'd weigh in on this situation because, for lack of better terms, Jon Anik's being a little bit of a man baby about this, and he needs to grow up and stop reading negative comments, or read them and laugh at them because most of them are funny anyway. Why would you get this much in your feels about negative comments? I made a whole video just going through Strickland fans' comments, which is basically what this is. We're going to watch Jon Anik's response to this hatred he's been getting and him threatening to leave the UFC and go and work for the NFL instead. And then we're going to look at Sean Strickland's response to Jon Anik saying this, because I'm assuming Sean Strickland is very aware that Jon Anik is referencing his fan base. I made a whole video looking at what they were saying and just laughing at how delusional they were in times, and laughing at some of the stuff they were saying and arguing against them. Like, you can't, like, I'm going to let it play, and I'm going to have a massive take after this is played on Jon Anik, because right now I feel like he's almost fishing for compliments, in my honest opinion. I don't want Jon Anik to leave the sport. I think he's one of the better commentators. I think he's got a great voice for it. I think he's very professional. I think he holds it down. He holds down the fort very well on the commentary whenever you got DC and Joe Rogan rambling about some nonsense doing a podcast, or Bisping and Dominic Cruz, and Bisping's going off on a tangent about a story of something that happened to him 5 years ago when something's happening. I think Jon Anik is very good at his job and should continue to work for the UFC. But let's listen to what he has to say about this.
Because even if you and I both thought Dricus du Plessis won the fight, we try to present that information respectfully. And when I go on to X or I go to our YouTube comments, it seems like a lot of these fans are just in attack mode. And I don't know if these fans are casual fans or not, right? But
a lot of them are casual fans.
I appreciate the passion, but I'm getting to a point at 45 years of age where I don't know how much time I have left in this MMA space, because if I go do pro football, like, I'm not necessarily going to be dealing with this lowest common denominator.
The lowest common denominator is basically what he refers to as MMA fans who disagree with his opinion. Now, the absolute stupidity, by the way, in saying that if he goes over to the NFL or pro football or any other sport that he could work commentary for, sorry you have so many options, mate. Didn't realize the NFL was just waiting. We need Jon Anik so much on our commentary booth. Oh God, what is the NFL going to do without Jon Anik? Sorry if you got a bunch of other options, mate. But the fact that you think you're not going to get hatred from NFL fans or NBA fans, I don't know much about the NFL, but every other sport has this. The NBA are some of the most unhinged, feral fans. The NBA is one of the, at least in the UFC, you know, fighters get trashed all the time for falling off or being washed up. The NBA is one of the only sports where these guys are playing multiple times a week. Steph Curry can be washed up and back in form within the same week to their fan base. Like, the fact that you think you're going to go to another sport and not get hatred in the comments is insane. I think he's fishing for compliments here. Like, I'll turn this car around type thing if you guys keep misbehaving. Who you no one cares. You know what I mean? Shut up. Why are you having a hissy fit about it, dude? It's fun. You know, people are allowed to think Sean Strickland won to a delusional level. Laugh at them. Disprove them. Don't rage and say you're going to quit commentary, because, by the way, his YouTube page, with all due respect, I know this is going to sound egotistical from me, has about like 10k viewers on it. There's like 5 comments saying, dude, what are you talking about? Strickland clearly won, you moron, you biased idiot. Like, I know he's 45, but it's so funny to me how older people just cannot cope with the internet. Like, who cares if someone's insulting you, dude? I basically made a career out of being insulted for the first 3 years, and then finally I'm getting some level of, like, compliment, like, level, or some kind of respect from the community. Like, it's always funny seeing a 45-year-old or an older person just be like, I can't fucking believe they're saying this about me. Like, it's part of the game. You know what I mean? And there's like 5 people doing it for. Jon Anik gets hatred. I haven't seen Jon Anik hatred. You know what I mean? If this was someone who genuinely was getting an absolutely onslaught against him from the MMA fans, fair enough. But this is just like, I'll leave the sport and go to do pro football if you keep doing this. You're just going to invite more of it, and that's what you've done. Welcome to my world.
All the time. And I don't know, man. I just feel like there's a lot of malice and disrespect from the fan base, and we can disagree. Like,
No, not in NBA or NFL, though. No, their fans are really nice all the time, aren't they?
Like, don't take it from me. Demetrius Johnson and Kenny Florian thought DDP won the fight. I don't know. I've just been very off put with the negativity that has permeated my feed since Saturday night, and I'm just not sure how much longer I have in this space, honestly.
Oh no, poor Jon Anik. He's not sure how much longer he can do this for, guys. He got a tiny little 10 comments worth of backlash, and now he's just not sure. I'm just not sure how much longer I can do this for. He's just fishing for people to say, dude, he's the best ever. What are you guys saying about Jon Anik? He's so amazing. It's just fishing for compliments, dude. Look at him all sad with himself. 10 people said that I was biased. What? What? Get over it. I've got another take on this. Sean Strickland made a response, but my take on this in the first place is, if a couple of mean comments online that you don't have to read, you 45-year-old, you don't have, just like, there's this like revelation. He's finally going to learn someday about the invention of not looking at negative comments, which is a wonder, by the way. You don't have to look at them, by the way. They're the same in every sport. And also, I want to say this. Jon Anik has one of the luckiest jobs of all time. You know how many MMA fans and just people in general would love to be the main commentator and be front row, front and center for their favorite sport or any sport in general. You know how he's got a good voice for it, and that's why he was hired. He's also really professional when he does his research and all that. I respect it. You know how lucky the job is that you fucking do? So many people work shit jobs, and you're looking to like throw away being front and center at the UFC commentary desk because 10 people said you were biased about your DDP versus Strickland response. I just don't know how much longer I have it in me. Dude, get over it, man. You're living a dream job for millions of people right now. And you're like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, poor Jon Anik, everyone, stop being mean to him. But I'm like, dude, grow the fuck up. Man up a bit, mate. Come on. What's going on here? He's living a dream job of so many people. And he's like, oh, God, if there's any more mean comments, I'll stop. See ya. Bye. I love Jon Anik on commentary. I don't want him to leave the commentary, but just ignore it, dude. Everyone gets hatred. It is what it is. Don't be like, I don't want to. I'll go and do NFL if you... Like the NFL's like an open door policy for Jon Anik to waltz onto the commentary desk. Obviously not. I just don't... Oh, it's going to be any better over there if he has a biased call for there. I know it's a bit different because there's literally points and it's not like, well, I think the Bucks won. You know what I mean? He can't do that. But still... This is crazy to me. I also want to mention this. The privilege is crazy, first of all, because you live in a dream job and he's like, I'm going to throw it away because 10 people said something on my 10K viewer podcast. Either way, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, yeah. Dude, if you're so little of a UFC fan that you are willing to chuck away that job because a few people said mean words to you, maybe you shouldn't be on commentary, you know? I don't want to be the guy that tips it over the edge for Jon Anik here. You get to travel the world, travel America, probably VIP suites in hotels, making hundreds of thousands a year, I'd imagine. Maybe millions, I don't know. Could be millions. Could be $1 million, maybe a year. So much money. VIP, 5-star hotel, get put up here in Vegas. Now he's in Los Angeles. Now he's in New York City at the best hotel with all the room service and all this. Like sitting front row at UFC 300, UFC 299, working the commentary job once a week, by the way. It's a nice job, and it sometimes ain't even once a week because he's not always at the Apex. A couple times a month. That's your job. Hundreds of thousands. Couple mean comments, and it's like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. The privilege reeking off of this guy is crazy right now, in my opinion. And I think he's fishing for compliments. I really do. And also, Are you that little of a UFC fan that a couple mean comments are enough for you to chuck away this dream job of every UFC fan in the world? A casual UFC fan, this would be their dream job. Front row, every fight. Main events of pay-per-views, watching title fights go down live, right? Being, like, speaking on it as it happens, being on the air, being a part of it. You're that little of a fan of MMA that all of a sudden it's just, throw it away. Fucking, you know, Strickland fan 123 said I was biased. I'll go if you want me to. Grow up. Man the fuck up. You're 45, mate. Jesus.
Yeah.
And look at him. I feel like he's going to cry. I'm sorry. It's just like a lot of people are like, come on, don't do this. You know, even this thing, Ben Davis, shout out Ben Davis, posts a lot of things on Twitter that are useful. Y'all better not make Jon Anik retire, man. If a couple mean comments are enough to make him retire, he arguably shouldn't be on the UFC commentary desk. I know this might be a hot take of a video, but come on, dude. Stop fishing for compliments and feeling sorry for yourself, you little dweeb. Come on, mate. I love Jon Anik. I think he should stay on commentary. I think he's the best commentator in the UFC. Fair enough, he's not going to have the genius about the wrestling exchanges like a DC would have or someone else would have about the game plan or the strategy or the striking that goes into it, but he's got a dream job. He's got a dream job. This is his first ever tiny amount of backlash because Strickland fans, by the way, are fucking unhinged. I felt the brunt of it, trust me. Thousands of comments. But who cares? I'm doing a dream job that MMA fans watching this video right now, you'd kill for what I do for a living, right? You're probably working a job in 9 to 5, doing this, doing that. I get to waffle about MMA for a living on YouTube. What am I gonna... I can't believe someone disagreed with my take. I'm done. No. Grow up. What the fuck? And then you got Sean Strickland responding to this as well. What I'd say to Jon Anik calling MMA fans the lowest common denominator. First of all, he wasn't calling MMA fans that. He was calling your fans that. Let's be real. Strickland fans are fucking unhinged right now. And I tried to make a video about that a couple days ago. It's being proven they are unhinged. I've never seen a fan base so strongly defending of a fighter than the Sean Strickland fan base. The headbutt stuff and like the babiest head clash thing we've ever seen, and it changed everything. The fight should have been called off. Like, these Strickland fans are mentally insane, but it shows how much of a superstar Sean Strickland is. What I'd say to Jon Anik calling Sean Strickland fans the lowest common denominator. These people are why you have a paycheck and you make way more than most. Way more. Maybe the NFL is a better choice for you than MMA. Also, you guys are a bunch of savage so-and-sos. I'm here for it. Like, Strickland's got a point. He likes it. Obviously, it benefits him because they're all in favor of him right now. But still, dude. Honestly, I think about it like this. If you're that little of a UFC fan, where a couple of mean comments, if I had Jon Anik's job, it would take so much for me to chuck that job away. I don't think I ever would. It'd literally take me being fired against my will. There's no way, if I was in that job that Jon Anik does as a UFC fan, and I'm pretty sure I'm a hardcore UFC fan. I watch every prelim, every this. I'm watching regional fights of MMA and all this other stuff. But any level of MMA or UFC fan that even pays attention as a casual, if they got Jon Anik's job, I bet you they would never quit until they got fired. It'd have to take a firing to get rid of me. I could get thousands and thousands of hate comments. I'd be like, who cares, dude? I'm front row and center for O'Malley Vera 2, for Volkanovski Topuria, for Gaethje Holloway coming up at UFC 300. I'm going to be there for McGregor Chandler, front row on the desk, calling it as it happens. Are you that little of an MMA fan? Dude's crying about this. Like, I know a lot of people are taking this as like, oh, poor Jon Anik. I'm sorry. That's not the way maybe I grew up differently, but man the fuck up, dude. So many people work shit jobs. You make like $1 million a year probably. A couple times a month to sit front row and center on the biggest UFC cards ever and commentate the sport and get the best seats in the house. Couple mean comments gonna get you to throw that job away, are they? You privileged little bitch, dude. I love Jon Anik as well. So this is sad to see. Obviously, I don't want him to feel bad. But come on, bruh. He's made the rounds saying that he's going to quit MMA and I'll go over to pro football if people keep talking about me like this. Get a grip, mate. You know what I mean? As if NFL is going to be like, yeah, oh, Jon Anik, yes, please. Anyone with a good voice and enough hard work can do your job. It's sad. And obviously, Jon Anik's really good at it, so he's one of the better ones. So I'm glad we have him because he's professional and he takes it seriously and all that. And he has great calls on the mic. Anik has some of the best reactions to knockouts while Joe Rogan's faking his eyes going wide and going, oh, unbelievable. And DC's just sitting there, barely reacting and putting his hands on Joe Rogan's shoulder as Joe Rogan pushes both of them aside of him. But like, come on, grow up. What's going on? And also, yeah, the funniest part is it's literally like there can't be hundreds of comments. No offense, but no one really... I know this was probably to get attention. Maybe I've fallen for it and sort of went into it a little bit. But like, you're doing a dream job, dude. I mean, so many people work for minimum wage every day, paycheck to paycheck. The majority of the population does. The vast majority of the population does. You owe it to them to do the dream job that they would love to do. And just be throwing shit away. Because otherwise Laura Sanko might fucking take his spot. And I could see the UFC doing that as well. So fucking hell, Jon Anik. Get your shit together, mate. Man up a bit. Have a testosterone shot or something. And, geez, stick around. Because I actually do like Jon Anik as commentary. And, yeah. See you later. Goodbye.